Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
And we're here to talk about Blue Thunder.
Is that whisper mode?
I felt like it was right above us.
Oh my God.
I was holding all these papers down.
Yeah, by the way, there was more than one time where papers just went flying all over the place in this movie.
Running time, or rated R, running time was 1 hour and 49 minutes. Theatrical release was May 13th, 1983. It was the #1 ranked movie in the United States on its opening weekend.
All right.
Taking in $8.25 million. It overtook a previous #1 film, Flashdance.
Oh.
The film was ranked #2 in its second and third weekends.
Are we doing Flashdance?
I don't think so.
Flashdance?
No, I'm not doing that. I've never seen Flashdance.
I think that was one of the ones that
either.
you said we're not going to do.
I mean, listen, you want to do Flashdance?
You want to do that?
I've never seen that
No,
movie.
no.
Have you seen it?
No.
I've seen it.
Oh, is it good?
It's all right.
I know she gets wet in it.
Yeah, I saw the video. That's enough for me.
Everybody's seen
so this
that,
was
right?
rated R. This is like a today's era PG-13 movie because until they said what the JAFO is on his hat, there was no cursing in this at all.
There
Well,
was some nudity.
I guess the
you saw
nudity.
Bush.
Yeah, right. The nudity.
Because you do see Bush.
Yeah.
I thought
Mhm.
you almost
Although I
saw-
heard that they,
you almost saw a hole.
You could hardly see them nipples.
but they could
That
have
was from
easily.
Scrooge.
You're right. That definitely made it R right there. But I was thinking of like the language.
The language,
there
it
was
wasn't much.
no
you would have thought,
language
you would
at
have,
all.
you would have thought there would have been a lot more.
I was going in there thinking there was a lot more language. 1983 cop movie.
It was directed by John Badham.
Badham.
Yep, his top
That
four.
makes you, that's salmonella, right? Or trichinosis? One of those.
Trichinosis, yeah.
His top four are War Games, Short Circuit, Saturday Night Fever, and Nick of Time.
Damn.
Wow, man, that's I don't know Nick of Time, but like that's an impressive top three
Decent,
at least.
yeah. Our IMDb description: the cop test pilot for an experimental police helicopter learns the sinister implications of the new vehicle. Blue Thunder is a specially modified helicopter. It is for police work, but is armed and designed to counter street insurgencies. Its makers want to show what it will do, but have to train Los Angeles police pilot Frank Murphy to fly and use it in order to allow it to operate in the city. Murphy and the project pilot have differences going back to Vietnam. The conflict between them continues to heat up as Murphy begins to suspect that Blue Thunder is more than has been disclosed.
Oh.
I like that write up. I love your reading of it too.
Thank you.
But 97% of the way through this movie, I started thinking to myself, what's the plot of this movie? Because they bring Roy Scheider to the preview for the thing, but when Malcolm McDowell was flying it, right? When they were shooting up the
Yes.
town and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then they say Roy Scheider's going to fly it. And then almost immediately they're like, we got to kill him because he knows too much. I'm like, what? Why'd you even allow him to know about it?
Why wouldn't Malcolm McDowell have been told who was going to fly?
It was just so weird that like all of us,
Right.
like the first time,
Exactly.
the first time he took Blue Thunder out with Daniel Stern, they went and recorded him saying, we got to kill this guy. I'm like, what, why did they even let this guy fly the helicopter in the first place? If immediately they're like let's
they
just
had
kill him.
all the control. Like
Yeah.
they were the ones giving it to the city. They could have said, well, no, we're going to fly it.
Yeah.
It made no sense. And the whole reason they were introducing this to LA was because the Olympics were coming. So they're going to shoot a bunch of Olympic people. There's the Russian contingent. Take them out. I really was kind of after the fact thinking to myself, this plot is ridiculous. I mean,
There's no reason for
There's
them
also-
to have done what they did.
There's also, you don't know any of the bigwigs that are in that room when they're all talking. You don't know any of them.
No,
And they're just
none of
like-
that. None of that matters.
Yeah.
It's Malcolm McDowell against Roy Scheider, and then why?
The tagline for this movie was "The skies will never be the same." I like that.
Okay, that's a good one.
The cast is starts off with Roy Scheider playing Officer Frank Murphy, passed in 2008 at the age of 75 from multiple myeloma. He is from Orange, New Jersey. Did you know that?
No.
I knew he's from Jersey. I didn't know Orange, but
Yeah.
I
What do you
remember
think-
like.
What do you think his top 4 are?
Jaws.
Correct.
How about Jaws 2?
Incorrect. That's the only Jaws. Just
okay.
Jaws. Also,
What else
Is
was
he
he?
didn't do,
Thunder?
he didn't do Jaws 3D. That's why he did this movie, so they couldn't ask him to do Jaws.
I heard
3D.
that. I heard he signed on to do this, so there was no way he could do Jaws 3. Is Jaws
He
3?
said that the producers knew not to ask him anyway, though, because he was sick. I guess he was.
was
way
Jaws
over
3
this.
the one he died in? Or I guess no. I mean,
He died in between 2 and 3. Right?
they just say like your father died or something like that. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. So is Blue Thunder in his top 4?
Blue Thunder is. In his
Thank
top
God,
four.
because I don't think I was going to get one because Brian stole Jaws.
I was ready.
I thought you might have got another movie
I probably should.
from 1971.
The movies from 1971.
Yeah,
Is that going to be a problem? That dog barking?
that'll be on the podcast.
Yeah,
That's fine.
It'll just be in the background.
That's a Lily barking. I don't know why. 1971. Damn it. I'm
The
spaced.
French Connection.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Good movie.
I never saw that one.
No,
That's a good
I've
one.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that next year for our retrospective when we do older movies. That's like one of those ones.
next year when we do that, you know how we had all our guests pick.
Mhm.
We should each do a movie as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We
Pick
didn't
one
do-
like
we didn't
that.
do that.
That's a
last
good idea.
time, so.
Star Wars. I picked Star Wars.
Caddyshack. I picked Caddyshack.
I don't know what I'm going to pick yet.
I'm just kidding. I'm not picking Star Wars.
I don't know yet.
What else was it? So French Connection, and his fourth one was
All That Jazz.
I never saw that. Was that Clint Eastwood?
I don't know if that's Clint Eastwood.
I honestly don't know that movie. Maybe
I
I'm
don't
thinking
know that movie.
I'm thinking Clint Eastwood is a jazz penis. So maybe
I don't think
it
it's
was in
that
it.
movie.
Nah.
The jazz penis.
Yes.
The jazz-
His penis plays the
The
blues.
jazz singer, that's Neil Diamond, right?
Yes. But I think Clint Eastwood
Up
classically
next
trained
was
pianist.
Warren Oates. He was playing Captain Braddock. He died really young, April 3rd, 1982. He was only 53.
I had 20 years
Heart
in this
attack.
outfit when your idea of a big time was sitting in front of the TV tube, watching Bugs Bunny, and gnawing on your fudgesicle.
TV tube.
That was one of my favorite lines.
That was a
in the
great
movie.
line. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until he started talking like that where I was like, oh my God, he's Sergeant Holka from Caddy.
Oh, you didn't get it until
from
you heard-
Stripes.
until you heard the voice,
Yeah,
right?
like he didn't look the same. He had a mustache. He looked different. But as soon as he started talking like that, I was like, oh, he's our big toe.
He has all the best lines.
He does have all the best lines because he's the cool chief.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't want to get him in trouble. And
And it's
when-
nice he doesn't die.
it was nice that he didn't die. But it's a shame that he actually died before this movie even came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died in 82. This movie came out in 83.
They dedicate at the end. They say dedicated to him.
He's
yeah.
got a yeah.
It says
the
dedicated to
credits.
Hall and Oates.
The All That Jazz was Roy Scheider, Jessica Lange, Ben Vereen.
Ben Vereen. Well,
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about when I say
It was
Clint Eastwood
a,
was involved.
That was a director choreographer Bob Fosse tells his own life story.
Oh, okay. And all that jazz.
Roy Scheider plays Joe Gideon.
Hmm.
Do you want to try Warren Oates' top 4?
Well, besides Stripes, I don't know.
Stripes is in there.
All right. In Blue Thunder.
Did not make it.
I don't know anything else he was in.
A good movie, The Wild Bunch.
Okay.
That's with Ernest Borgnine. Stripes, Badlands, and Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. Sounds interesting.
I've never seen
Yeah,
that
I've
movie,
never
but
seen it.
all I know is Fletch requests that when he says, bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia and a glass of hot fat when he's in the morgue in the first Fletch movie.
Well, now you know.
And I remember like all the time, like, what the hell does it mean? Bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia.
You're like, who's Alfredo Garcia?
Well, I mean, back in the pre-internet days, I figured out that was a movie because it bothered me. Like, what's that mean? Like, bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia. What?
Candy Clark, she played Kate. I thought she looked really cute.
Did you really, man? I was like, what's this chick doing?
She was
in this
perfect
movie?
for Roy
I
Scheider.
liked her too. It's the
Mm.
15-year difference between their
Was
ages.
it?
So
Okay, I didn't
yeah.
know that. Nice.
I think that's
She did
acceptable.
nothing for me. Sorry.
I thought
no.
she was cute.
Yeah, I thought she
Yeah.
was cute. Oh, I have a quote from her.
She's no Kathleen Turner. Let's put it that way.
better than
God damn
Kathleen
your
Turner.
Black Irish heart, Francis McNeil Murphy. If you've left,
He was in there having.
Black Irish heart.
He was having a nightmare.
He was having a night.
Was that when he was like reading the book to
That's
the
when he was
kid?
laying with the kid. Yeah. Candy's top 4. You could Blue Thunder's in there, but you should be able to get maybe one other one.
I don't know her at all. I mean, not that I'm aware of.
American Graffiti she was in.
Oh.
The Man Who Fell to Earth and Zodiac are her
Zodiac.
others. Up next was a babyface Danny Stern.
My
Your
God.
got doppelganger.
Yes, apparently. I don't know if I looked as good as he did back when he was like 25, but
You
I look like
actually
him
looked
now.
sexier back when you were 25.
Wow,
so.
I had it put together back then.
He played Officer Richard Lyman Good.
That was an annoying name because every time they said it, I'm like, are they just making fun of his name? Oh no, that's his good. Okay. Too many, we have too many like,
He's got a good top 4. What do you got for him?
oh my God. I mean, like, well, obviously Home Alone's got to be in there.
Correct.
In that, only the first one, maybe the second one
Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
is
Correct.
also in there, huh?
Oh, wow.
How about the voice of Kevin Arnold's adult?
The Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wow.
If you get this other one,
You really are him.
you might be able to get this other one too.
What else were you in?
Urine. What?
City
City Slickers. Yeah. Good movie. The first one was great. I know there's a sequel.
They look for Curly's gold.
Curly's Gold, right? Yeah, that first City Slickers movie is a great movie. That's a fun movie.
Yeah.
With a very young Lisa Simpson playing the knocked up girlfriend of Daniel Stern.
Really?
Yearly Smith.
Yeardley?
Yearly Smith.
Yep. Joe Santos, he played Montoya.
Oh,
He would look familiar.
the cop that was never there, but then there all of a sudden.
They talked about him like continuously in the
It was
beginning.
nice that he didn't kill him at the end when you shot him out of the sky mercifully. Just
Yeah, how did he not kill him?
because he was
He cut
so he just
thing
shot.
cut a cop car in half, and it just made smoke come out of
But
a helicopter.
he just gave him a shit. I had something funny to say. he just gave him a push down to the ground. Just go down. And he landed.
He died in 2016 from a heart attack. He was 84. His top 4, you
No.
might be able to get it.
Nah.
Well, he was in the Rockford Files. Can you tell me how many episodes of the Rockford Files he was in?
Damn. I did like the Rockford Files.
He was in 109.
James Garner was good.
109 of the 119 episodes.
Damn.
Wow. So he was.
That's got
was
to be
he-
where I noticed him.
Was he like
looked
his
familiar?
Was he like his captain or
I
something like
never
that?
watched Rockford
I liked
Files.
Rockford Files is one of those shows that I'm sure it doesn't stand up today, but like he was like a poor man detective kind of thing. Yeah.
He was in The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, the Bruce Willis Damon Wayans movie.
Yep.
Great movie.
He was
That
in,
doesn't get
Love
enough.
that movie.
Doesn't get enough
Yeah,
credit.
I think that's one of those movies that people shit on, but it's actually really good.
Yeah.
he was in The Postman.
The Postman.
And his other top 4, The Sopranos. He was in 7 out of 86 episodes.
What's his character in this?
Angelo Garape.
Wow, man, I don't remember him. in Sopranos.
I looked him up. You notice him. If you looked him. If
Is
you
he one in Tony's crew or someone else?
It was
Or
someone else,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Montoya.
Up next playing Cochran.
You know, it's funny. Montoya is one of the Batman cops that was always in the animated series, and she's a female, Montoya. So when Montoya showed up in Blue Thunder, and I'm like, oh, it's a guy. I was kind of thrown off. I don't know why.
Because he had a dick.
Well, yes, he did. I assume he did, but
Yeah, we don't know.
they were just talking about Montoya all the time. Where's Montoya? Where's Montoya?
Malcolm
it's a-
McDowell played Cochran. We've already discussed Malcolm McDowell.
Clockwork Orange.
Well, we did Clockwork Orange. Yeah. He was also. Is that the only thing we've done so far with him? I guess so, right? He was in Star Trek Generations. He was in
That's in his top 4.
the new Halloween movies, or some version of the new Halloween movies. He was in the Rob Zombie.
Halloween's in there.
He was
yep.
he was the Donald Pleasance character in the Rob Zombie movies.
And then you got A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
And
He looked a lot different in this one.
time after time, he had his hair. His hair was really blonde in this one.
Time after time, is that his top 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Playing the mayor was Jason Bernard.
Jason Bernard.
He died young too. He was
Yeah.
only 58 in 1996 from a heart attack.
I can nail two of the things that he was in.
What do you got?
Well, he was definitely the judge in Liar Liar.
That's his number one.
Okay, with Jim Carrey, and he was Caleb in V, the series.
not in his top
or
four,
the
though,
the
yeah.
V, the original miniseries.
Not in his top 4 though, but yes.
That's what I know him from the most.
You're a big V fan.
Oh, I love V.
He was also in While You Were Sleeping, No Way Out, but also War Games.
Oh, was he on War Games? Is that this year? Did we get War Games this year?
Yeah.
That's a movie I have not seen in a long time.
My
but
buddy Dave wants to do that.
That's fine.
Bring him
But
over. Yeah,
back in the
I
old
really
days,
hope it holds up.
that was like one of those movies I loved as a kid. And
I know,
haven't seen it as an adult.
Love
So
I have
when I
not
was
seen
a
it
kid.
as an adult either. So I'm hoping that holds up because that could be crushing
Is that-
for us, dude.
is that Ali Sheedy? Is she the Ali Sheedy is the girl in that or not? I mean, obviously Matthew Broderick, but like
We'll keep talking and I'll figure that out real quick.
that's funny. The mayor in this, he didn't appear until like the 97th percent of this
Correct.
movie,
But it
and I was like,
it was
oh,
definitely
all of a sudden,
like,
like, oh,
and
hey,
he was in the
I know.
last couple scenes here. Yeah,
And then he was there, but they kept talking
Matthew
about
Broderick, Ali Sheedy,
it. It is Ali Sheedy. Okay, that's the girl. in that.
Dabney Coleman.
And who's Joshua's father? Joshua, was that the password or whatever?
Yeah, the British guy.
Yeah, his kid died. He named it after his kid or something like that.
Yes.
Whatever. We'll get to that when we get to that. Because that's
I'm sorry, I got all excited.
is that Joe Don Baker too, or is that whoever the
Ray Don Chong.
no the government guy? You know not Ray Don.
Yeah,
We'll
you
get
said
to
we'll
it.
talk about it.
We'll get to it then. We'll get to it then.
Alf Hewitt was played by James Murtaugh.
Who are we talking about?
Alf Hewitt. That's who they brought the tape to.
Oh, yeah. He looked
the
familiar.
The news guy. Okay, yeah, I don't know who that is.
You may
He
know
almost looked like the.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. The Howling. That's where I think I remember
Howling,
him from.
oh, okay.
Everybody's Fine and Vanilla Sky.
I can't
Oh,
remember.
that was
the
a
guy
Tom
he
Cruise
looked
movie.
like.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Then you got Pat McNamara. He played Matusek. He was top 4. Airplane 2, the sequel. Silence of the Lambs.
Wait, is that-
Sleepers and Instinct?
I wonder if that's my guy. When I was watching this movie, there's a scene where they first.
He's only in Airplane 2, the sequel, though. I don't know if he's in. Oh, let me look that up.
There's a scene where
Pat McNamara.
when they first take out Daniel Stern, like the first scene where they take him out when they find the girl in the
Oh, Exodore.
what?
The guy who looks like Exodore from Mork and Mindy. Ride.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. But Daniel Stern says there's a drug deal going down, and they shine the light down on there, and Roy Scheider goes, "Is he wearing a red hat?"
Oh,
Or he's like,
yeah.
"What's his hat?" Or he's like, "He's wearing a red hat." He's like, "Oh yeah, that's one of our guys."
That's not the guy.
That's not that guy.
That's
Oh,
not
okay.
him.
Anyway, that guy, the red hat guy selling the drugs, is one of the jive talking guys on the airplane in Airplane.
that June Cleaver talks to.
With
The thinner one.
The thinner one, the guy that didn't get sick, the one that didn't say, I don't even, I can't even remember exactly what they say now, but yeah, the skinnier one that didn't have the beard, that was the guy that was selling drugs in Blue Thunder.
Was the guy who looked like Exodore? Was he Exodore from
No,
Mork and
but I know
Mindy?
who exactly who you're talking about, Exodore. That guy, the one that was like in the Chevy, the brown Chevy.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy in Naked Gun 2 when Drebin and that guy were fighting, and Priscilla Presley, Jason's girl, Priscilla Presley, opens the shower curtains. They're both like staring at her, and somehow Drebin shoves a helium thing in him, and he blows him up with helium or something like that. But as soon as I saw that guy, I was like, "Oh,
I don't
he's
even
the."
think the guy has a picture on his IMDb.
I was like, "He's the bad guy from Airplane 2." I was like, "I love that guy." So, or from Naked Gun 2, yeah. So that guy, Exodore, I know exactly what you're talking about when you say Exodore, but.
All right, I got 2 more people I want to talk about, and then you.
Well,
have
we're
one
talking
person.
about people.
You already talked about your person. You
Well,
were
we're
supposed
talking
to
about the
say
other guy
something.
too, the Naked Gun 2 bad guy,
Yeah.
which never got his comeuppance, right?
No.
Because he was also at the launch of the helicopter. He was in the crowd there.
He did a lot
too.
of bad stuff.
But then nothing ever came of him, right?
Lieutenant Cress was played by Jack Murdoch.
Murdoch. We talked about. I don't know who that. Which guy that is?
He was the lieutenant.
Lieutenant. I don't know ranks.
But the last one I wanted to talk about was Paul Lambert. He played Holmes His top 4 included The Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone, season 2, episode 1, King 9 Will Not Return. A pilot of a downed World War II bomber comes into the African desert and desperately tries to find out what happened to his rest of his crew. I remember that episode.
Which guy is this that we're talking about?
Paul Lambert. He played Holmes, but
You just wanted to talk about this
because every time we get a Twilight Zone, we talk about it. So I wanted to bring
almost
it in.
every
Yeah.
episode.
We usually talk about
Yeah.
what's his face dying, Vic Morrow died.
But this time it was Paul
We'll get
Lambert.
there this year.
This time it was Paul Lambert.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
He played Holmes.
Excuse me, Holmes.
Holmes. He didn't even.
He's standing next to Sherlock.
He died young,
Is this Chevy Chase driving through?
He died. He
St.
died
Louis?
young too. So he was only
And
54.
we die young.
Cut that out, or we're gonna get a soon. Alice in Chains for that horrible rendition.
Oh, I wasn't prepared. You know what was really cool about this movie? There were no opening
Nothing.
credits. There were no opening credits.
Wow.
Like 5 minutes in, all of a sudden it just said Blue Thunder, and it went from there.
And then it went, Blue Moon, I saw you standing alone. I think that's the line, right?
No, I don't think I didn't hear Blue Moon in this.
That's when the Grease guys mooned.
No, I'm saying,
At the
I was like, did I have the right song lyric? I didn't know if I had the right lyric. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
this it was funny.
We'll find out all those
there-
people probably texting me and tweeting
I know,
at
all
me,
angry.
You know?
Kevin.
I wish we had all those people. I hear these podcasts where people are like, "Oh my god, your inbox is going to fill up."
I know. I was
We
like,
only had that problem.
Ours is like, did you check it?
I'll hit refresh again.
I'll send one to make sure it's receiving it. Send one out too to see if it works.
The exciting new podcast email will shut down when it gets its first email. I'll be like, I don't know what to do with this.
I get a lot of emails from Spreaker.
So Warren Oates was really sick when he was filming this with the
I mean,
flu.
he must
and
have been almost
chronic
dead, right?
He had chronic emphysema during the filming of it.
And he died at what you said, like 52, which is troubling.
He was 53, yeah, 1982.
That's troubling for people that might be turning 53 this weekend.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Well, then get your ass on down here. We just came up with a hot mince pie under each arm.
I don't even know what the last 4 words.
Something about it was
Hey,
under the arm.
you better get your ass
Wait,
down.
I
You
think
better get your ass down here. And go,
I think I might have wrote that quote down in my notes here. Let me see.
Something
Hold on.
about mince pie.
Oh yes.
Wait,
Did he say mince
wait.
pies under your arm or something like that?
Wait, I think I have it.
Whatever that means.
I don't know. That sounds like a southern thing.
Just came up with a mincemeat pie under each arm. Captain Braddock. I have it there. It's my second.
Can you play that
Second
clip
name.
again?
Well, then get your ass on down here. We just came up with a hot mince pie under each arm.
Oh my god!
We just came up with a hot mince pie under each arm.
I heard it. Well, you know what? I had the subtitles on when I watched it, but the first time you played that, I didn't want to mince pie under your arm.
I got one other Captain Braddock.
That's the way it's got to be from now on. Me captain, you cop, me talk, you listen. If
good.
you notice, I don't have an ass when I get up out of this chair. It's because the old man just chewed it off just like that.
I always like when an old guy says the old man should buy. Like, how much older is he than you? Like 5 years?
That guy was sitting behind him, right?
That was weird, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole. Like, what? Did they ever really establish who Malcolm McDowell and that dude and the guy?
What happened in Vietnam? Like he said,
you know what? I was gonna say, I love
marshaled.
like that was
Someone
such,
fell out of the
that was such an
helicopter. That was
80s
it.
an 80s trope of like the Vietnam flashbacks. Like every Chuck Norris movie in the 80s, like Missing in Action, like he always had a
When did we
flashback
get
to
those?
Vietnam and First Blood. You know, Stallone was flashing back to Vietnam. That was a big thing there in the early 80s. Like everybody's gonna have their Vietnam flashbacks.
All this was.
I
was
never, ever remember John Wayne having a World War II flashback.
That's true. All this was
He
was
never fought.
a
He just
Vietnamese
played
guy
a soldier.
struggling with Malcolm
because
McDowell.
he's
He
fallen.
fell, and that was it. I was like, you were
But
in
didn't-
Vietnam, and that is what scarred you.
But
Not
didn't-
all the other people
I
dying.
understand that, but didn't like Malcolm McDowell like he turned to him and said something to him at
He
one
said,
point?
"Yeah,
like,
let's go home" or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, right.
But you
Yeah.
never figured out what that Vietnamese guy was. To
No,
them.
there was no.
He could have been like their ally, and they're just like,
Push him out.
throw him out of there. And why is there a British guy in the American helicopter in Vietnam.
A British colonel. I mean, American
British
colonel
person
who's British.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Did not
man.
seem right.
Yeah.
That seems like a
Also,
infringement upon our military.
how'd they get Malcolm McDowell even to get in the helicopter? He was hated flying. No one, not even his wife, could persuade him to overcome his phobia. And it said,
well, this is a movie. Like, get in a helicopter.
he actually
had to get to Hollywood.
He actually had to get in a helicopter. He's
Did
in
they
the
actually
helicopter.
fly around in this movie? Okay.
He's actually in it. When his wife saw the movie, she was incredulous and asked the filmmakers, "How did you get him inside that little helicopter? I couldn't even get him inside a plane."
We handed him an ass
He
load
actually
of
was in the
money.
helicopter.
We handed him a green screen and said, "Sit there in your little cockpit."
It's
and
83.
shut
They
up,
weren't
man.
doing it. 81. They weren't doing green screen.
Probably not. Oh, they were doing it in Empire. In
Well,
80.
from what I read, he got
No.
in the plane.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's so. Why would he do the movie? You're gonna have to get up in a helicopter and fly. You have to learn how to fly a helicopter. I might not want to do this movie.
Those F-16s look like they were on strings.
Like, if all of a sudden you sign me up to do a Tom Cruise movie, I'd be like, do I have to like go to outer space or hang off the side of a plane or something like that? Because I might have a problem, or scale a building. I guess Tom does those things. He doesn't force other people to do it.
That's true. He wants all the credit.
He does it.
He can take it
Runs a
all.
tight ship, though.
Yeah.
Bring your notes. What do you got?
I got so many notes, but like I'm trying to actually read them and figure out what I mean by this. So I watched the show Blue Thunder. Like,
The TV.
there's a TV show
Back
that
in the
came-
day, or just
back in the
recently?
no.
Okay.
It's probably not even available, but
You got the DVD.
I was shocked when I was reading up on the movie after the fact that it was only 11 episodes, because I thought I watched it for like years. Apparently, I watched the same 11 episodes for years. But
They got
Bubba
canceled.
Smith and Dick Butkus were in it, and they were like the guys on the ground kind of thing. I don't even know what that means, because there was no guys on the ground in this movie. But I thought they were the guys on the ground in the movie.
They just don't make. They don't fit that character.
The whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, when are Butkus and Bubba Smith showing up? And they never did. And I'm like, the movie ended, and I guess that was just a TV show thing, because I was really
Wasn't Dana Carvey in that too?
Dana Carvey was the Daniel Stern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Roy Scheider was not what's his name? Frank O'Malley, Frank Reynolds, whatever Irish name they gave him, black-hearted Irish
What was
guy.
that show that Dana Carvey did with Mickey Rooney?
The Mickey Rooney show.
Was it called Mickey Rooney
I don't
Show?
know.
I can't remember.
But yeah,
Mickey
Dana
Rooney.
Carvey. But so
He did a show with Mickey Rooney. Yeah.
Wow.
He's got
So-
some really good Mickey Rooney stories.
Roy Scheider didn't play in the TV show, but they got another guy to play Roy Scheider's role, and then Dana Carvey was the other guy in the helicopter. And
Lineman good.
but it wasn't him, because he was dead.
Oh yeah.
So he's
true.
a new guy. They had to get another young guy, and then
Yeah.
Bubba Smith and Dick Butkus were.
like
guys
worked
on
on the
Is Dick Butkus the
helicopter.
Warren Oates? in
No,
this?
they were like in the van driving around, being like, can you guys show a light over in this area?" I don't even remember now. We're talking 1983 or 4. I was a
Well,
young
now
kid
kind
then.
of like we should watch those 11 episodes. You kind of feel like you need to
Yeah,
see them,
you
right?
can watch that. Yeah.
It's probably on YouTube.
I'm really troubled by, why do I have I hate when I write my notes and without the context. Now I'm sitting here. What's Casio in the house mean? Oh, he had a
the
Casio watch. He had a
That's
Casio
right.
watch. That's what it was. That's what
The
But in the
25
house?
seconds.
my fucking notes are so
But
stupid.
what do you mean by in the house?
Because I was Casio in the house, like, in that,
Oh, you're saying in the house.
yeah.
Okay.
These are my notes. This is my own.
I was trying to think of what you meant
No.
in the movie by that.
For those watch fans, we got a Hamilton,
So then I have
a
bad
Tag
guy.
Heuer, and a Rolex now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my Rolex
right?
doesn't fit me.
You get that fitted.
Yeah. I'll fit it for you.
Oh, so
It'll fit me. My
in the
Yeah, it
at
probably
one
would.
point, someone says to Roy Scheider, blah blah blah, sir, and he's like, shit, I have to look. He's like, oh, he says, don't call me sir. I'm not David Copperfield.
Yeah,
And I was
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm like,
never didn't
I'm
get
like,
that
the
one.
fuck does that mean? What's the magician got to do with like calling him
Magician,
sir?
You got to call him sir.
Well, I looked it up. All I did, I was like, I got to make sense of that line. And I typed in David Copperfield. So when we think of David Copperfield, we think of the magician.
Oh, there's a book.
The fucking
the Dickens book.
Charles Dickens is like, I want some more, sir. I'm like, oh, that's why he's saying sir. I'm like, you know what? You got to reference a book at least from the 20th century.
Yeah.
You see that.
Oliver Twist.
But it was really kind of like, oh my God, that's what
some
David
more.
Copperfield is talking about. He's not talking about the guy that made the Statue of Liberty.
Because David
disappear.
Copperfield was like relevant back then.
Yeah, in 1983, he just made the Statue of Liberty disappear. So
right.
it was crazy that they're saying, like, he called him sir, and he's like, don't call me sir. I'm not David Copperfield. I'm like,
I do remember that line.
What?
Yeah. The F-16 models were built by famed model builder Gregory Hine, Jein. He's probably more famous for his science fiction models from Star Wars: A New Hope, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and Close Encounters.
Wow.
Who stars Richard Dreyfuss, who I just met at Chiller Theater.
Nice.
well, then we referenced Priscilla Presley before, too.
It's all going back. I seen Malcolm McDowell at Monster Mania before.
Really?
I didn't get his signature, but I saw him there, and I saw he looked right at me.
when this movie starts off and Roy Scheider's in Hulka's face, his big toe's face, and his captain's going back at him, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, don't they know that the star of the movie is always right? Like, why are you yelling at him? You know he's right. This movie had so much DNA of like movies that hadn't come out yet. RoboCop, Lethal Weapon, The Fugitive. Like, there's so much of that feel in these movies with like the captain that doesn't want to listen and the girl that you have to send on the side mission to get the important thing and hope that she doesn't get killed while she's doing it.
Those important data banks.
Those data banks. Why didn't Daniel Stern just close the fucking thing up?
I know.
You know someone's going to look.
Yeah.
So dumb.
And then he got run over by Exodor.
Why didn't he go into that 7-Eleven? There was a 7-Eleven right across the street. Run into a public area.
You didn't have to run into that kid on a bike either.
Oh.
Go around that kid on a bike.
Throw the kid out in front of the car.
Yeah. Anything.
That's what I would do.
In front of the car. At the after his first hard day of work, Roy Scheider goes home and opens the fridge. And what do you pull out and drink?
I don't remember.
Oh, I did not.
He pulled out a quart of milk. He was walking around with the quart of milk, drinking and drinking and drinking. I'm like, really? Does he have an ulcer or something like that? This is what this hard-boiled cop is doing when he goes home, drinking milk.
Do you remember the chicken rain sequence where all the chickens are falling?
Is that when they blew up the famous Amos's chicken place or whatever?
They used actually 4 huge vats of barbecued chickens. They were lifted by a crane and released over the police car and 3 other cars. When the scene was over, homeless people quickly appeared to help the film crew clean up the scene in exchange for the chicken. No rubber chickens were used, according to director John Badham.
Chickens. That's all real chicken parts right there.
Listen, because rubber chicken costs 4 to 10 times more than real chicken. It had a reason. He cuts me off before I get to the end.
If I was a chicken, I'd be like, if I was a chicken, I'd be like, I'm suing, or I'm going to go on strike. You're not using my chickens.
He's got all his notes and he's cutting me off.
But I had something about that in there.
No, you didn't.
No.
I have when Roy Scheider went to see the
you can play it.
The thing.
Now look at that. All the red dummies are blown to hell.
Yeah, and a few white ones. There's 1 civilian dead for every 10 terrorists. That's an acceptable
They
ratio.
said it was acceptable, yeah.
Unless you're one of the civilians.
I thought that was ridiculous. They were okay with that. 1 out of 10?
Oh.
That adds up.
That adds up.
I had in my notes, I'm like, I am glad Murphy, was that his name? Was willing to sacrifice the whole clientele of Amos's barbecue to like escape from his. And then right after that, I was like, let's 9/11 a whole building while we're at it because they just fucking torpedoed a whole building. I was like, this is a little chaos.
I hope that was a Saturday.
Shouldn't Roy Scheider have gotten in trouble for some of the things that he was doing?
Some of that shit was probably illegal.
Stole the helicopter. He should have got in trouble for that.
That ends.
I mean, I know he was trying to clear his name. So you got to do whatever you can to do that.
But the only people
that
that had
committing
a bad,
some serious crimes as you're doing that.
The only people that had a bad name against them were the people that allowed him to fly the helicopter in the first place. Like, we want you to fly this helicopter. Okay, thank you. And now we're going to kill you for flying this helicopter.
And real quick, this is for Tony, who listens to the podcast out there in Colorado. Hey, Tony.
I don't know any of those people.
Roy Scheider is driving a black 1981 Pontiac Turbo Trans Am Special Edition.
Which is weird because
Yeah,
they
it looked
specifically
nice.
say look out for the 1979 Trans Am, because I fucking remembered it because I was like, I know Jason's going to say what year was the Trans Am.
That was going to be my next question, but yeah.
It was a
year
19.
did
They
they say
kept
in the
saying
movie?
1979, but
But
it
he
was
drives in
1981.
1981, yeah. So, Tony, confirm that if that was a 1979 or 1981 in the movie.
What was his girl driving?
Oh,
can-
she had...
What did she have? A Chevelle? I really
It wasn't a
don't even know.
Chevelle. Oh, man.
I kind of like the look. It was kind of squat but thick. I like the look of that car.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the girl.
She was thick in the right areas. I like
Yeah, definitely.
She was squatting thick.
She really knew how to rummage through a dumpster.
So when Malcolm McDowell, and I know we kind of talked about this off the air, but I have to bring it up here. So when Malcolm
Yeah.
McDowell first takes Roy Scheider out to like test his skills, but they're in different helicopters, they kept going back to the one bolt
Yeah, they
or
kept
the
shaking.
one
Pulled
nut
that
on the
cotter
steering.
pin out.
I'm like,
And it was spinning. It was
I was like, that whole helicopter is held together by that one little tiny bolt's trying to sit in there.
but the way he brought it down so perfect.
Wait, yeah, what were those? The construction crew was trying to
And then they're
hurt them.
like, yeah, they're like, hey, we're trying to build here. It's like those guys just
He said, "You
crashed.
could have killed my crew. You could have killed my crew." And he would have, "Get out of here. Get the hell out of here."
in Watts.
You know, they
Yeah,
did
that was
say
in- That
Watts.
was in Watts, yeah.
That's where they wanted to stir everything up and kill everybody.
Because they raped and killed the senator or whatever she was.
Was she in Watts
She was in
also?
Brentwood.
Brentwood, that's right. They did say Brentwood,
Yeah.
which was where OJ was from.
That's right.
true.
Yep, I was just going to say that, came from
Sorry.
there. He wore the, what were the shoes that he had on?
The Bruno Malleys.
There you go, Bruno Molly's.
I think he had gloves on too.
It didn't fit.
I don't
And
even
a
know.
hat. That's my
I
Lucky
don't even
Sabbath
know what
hat.
kind of shoes I'm currently wearing. Like if I don't look down, I don't know what shoes I'm wearing. I know what OJ was wearing 30 fucking years ago.
Bruno Molly.
I think I'm wearing.
I'm glad you got it because I was like, why do I know it? I was thinking,
I
like,
only wear Skechers.
did you know
I
it?
think I'm wearing Skechers.
No, I didn't know.
That trial encompassed our entire lives for
It
years.
really did. And I remember listening to it, and hearing
I remember
the-
where I was when the verdict came through.
I definitely know where I was.
I was at work.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
the verdict. Yeah. I know. I was at work. We went to lunch, and they read the verdict. But more importantly, I know where I was when he went on his white Bronco chase, because the fucking Knicks were playing at that time in the playoffs, and they cut to the chase, and we didn't know what was going on in the basketball game.
Like they
And we-
didn't even give you picture in picture, right?
This is 1994. There was no
Internet to
ticker
go
at the
to,
bottom
yeah.
telling you what was going on. I didn't know the Knicks lost that game until 11 o'clock at night on ESPN when they told me.
Thanks,
And
OJ.
I blame OJ for the Knicks losing that series because they were up 3-2, and then OJ went on his run.
They were probably all watching it.
Yeah. Like, what's going on over there?
Fucking OJ, man. Cost the Knicks a championship.
They don't say it's Los Angeles. They call it the Metropolitan Police, and they make sure that the police badge is not bronze. It's more silver because they didn't want it to look like LA.
Did LA have a problem with that?
I
Does
think-
LA have to
I think
sign
that allowed
off
them to
if they-
shoot
if
there.
you-
I think that's what allowed them to shoot there.
okay.
Yeah.
One of the things I have to say is watching this movie and some of the places they went to brought back some serious Grand Theft Auto video game vibes. Like this, like
the hazy, the shots of the skyline with the haze and everything.
yeah,
like that.
and some of the streets and the bridges. It's
Yeah.
just like holy. I felt like I was like this. They really did model Los Santos after
Santos, yeah.
after LA because it was. Some of the, I felt like I'd seen it a million times because I did when
Yeah.
playing Grand Theft Auto.
6 is coming out next year, I think.
I know. I'm excited.
That's gonna be crazy.
I've never played any of those.
It's going to make $1 billion.
My dad loves it. He's always playing it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great
Yeah.
game.
So is being a cop in a helicopter and looking in on a woman doing naked yoga a crime?
What city was that?
She knew it. All
You
she had to do was look out the window.
Do you know what city that was in?
That was in Los Angeles also, or the metropolitan area?
No, they did say where they.
Oh.
Encino.
Encino.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was a man
Because he
from
did say,
Encino.
"Why are you all the way out in Encino?"
Oh, yeah, Brendan Fraser,
That's
Pauly
right.
Shore, right? Yeah. Sean Astin was in that. That was a good movie. I liked Encino Man, I think.
Yeah. I'd like that girl in Encino. She was all bent over.
You saw full
naked yoga? Like
you saw full
naked
bush.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I kind of wish she kind of spun a little towards the camera. I wanted to see gash.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Really?
I'm sorry.
That better not be cut.
I won't cut it.
Do you know at what point Blue Thunder, the helicopter, actually showed up? Because I paused it. I said, "Oh, I need to know exactly at what time."
I know it's about 30 minutes in, I'm going to guess.
Do you know, Brian?
No.
God damn it. I just lost my notes.
I was going to say, I hope you have it.
I do have it written down, and I backed up by accident. So I got, okay. Exactly 30 minutes in, we see Blue Thunder.
Wow.
Exactly 30 minutes. I hit pause. It was 30.00.00. I'm like, wow, my 30 minutes in exactly.
Woo!
Jason got that exactly right.
Woo!
So
you said
when
you had some notes, what did you want to talk about?
Well, the Grand Theft Auto thing. I think I've got another soundbite here.
Yeah, what do you
The Ayatollah remark.
oh
How
yeah,
does he
the
fly?
big nose or
This thing
whatever.
is nose heavier than the Ayatollah.
What the hell's that
Crazy.
mean?
This stuff's
Because
great.
Iranians have big noses.
Oh, is that what
Jamie Farr?
Yeah.
Oh, he's Palestinian,
It
but
was
I guess
Lebanese.
I wish I'd actually asked you to pull this line, but it was too late when I thought about it. But when they're at that scene with the white being the good people and the red being the terrorists and stuff like that, like the captain's explaining that to Roy Scheider. Is like, so the white is the innocent people and we want to protect them, and the red is the terrorists and we want to kill them, and the black cars are the bad cars and we want to blow them up. I'm like, are you explaining to this seasoned veteran cop who the good guys and the bad guys? He went on for like a whole minute just explaining to him who the good guys and the bad guys are. I was like, really? Huh. Thanks for telling me all that.
Especially since a lot of the white were like little kids. It's
Right. And that was so funny when all of a sudden like one kid just blew up and you're like, well, 1 in 10's okay, I guess. And then like the whole field of kids just got wiped.
So mad he got about when he was like when he came back.
So
He was
bad.
like, oh.
Well, because that like the firing trigger, which seemed annoying, like they were flipping it up and flipping it down. And I'm like, oh my God, just make it a button. Fuck that flipping switch. But like, yeah, he was so mad about I want to kill everybody.
And it was like, oh, here comes a school bus. He doesn't know what's going on with that.
Oh, right. Yes.
Like,
And
just destroyed the school bus.
I really wish it was a Blue Thunder 2 movie done during the 1984 Olympics. And it was just from like let's say Malcolm
Slaughtering people.
Malcolm McDowell survived. He was just like wiping out scores of people as they're waiting in line for like, oh, Mary Lou Retton's about to perform the gymnastics thing. It just wipes them all out.
Oh, I got the part where Cochran died.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.
That was such an obvious, like, let's make sure everybody remembers he's doing that kind of thing, because he did it like 3 or 4 times during the movie.
Yep.
Catch you later, so that Roy Scheider could just be like, catch you later. I don't like having those Brits in our military, man.
Was Malcolm McDowell more evil in this or Clockwork Orange?
I think Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I don't know, because this was like intent to.
Although
Yeah, he only wanted to hurt
He did
people
kill a
in
lot
the
of
other one.
people.
This was
in
intent to kill like just dozens of people.
Kill cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did kill a cop. He killed your guy.
He was a cop killer.
My God.
Better
Better you than me. Cop killer. Fuck police brutality. I know your mama's grieving. Fuck her. Cop killer. For tonight we get even. Bam, 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 bam.
Now in whisper mode.
I don't have that. Oh, but when they were at one point they were videoing something from the helicopter, because they said at one point it's 100-to-1 zoom or something like that. I don't think there's a camera today. I mean, isn't that a telescope?
So,
Yeah.
But it was so crystal clear. I was like, how in 1983 do they have this crystal clear helicopter 100-to-1 zoom? And nowadays in 2023, you see surveillance videos and you're like, I think the gray blob's the one that's doing the crime, and the green blob's the one not doing
That's
it.
the stoplight.
They had some nice tech on there with
That,
their 1983 analog click, 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 click.
The drive-in theater where the tape was hidden.
Oh,
Where she
okay.
goes-
Yes.
There's an actual drive-in theater in California, located in Burbank there on 100 West Alameda Avenue. It said it opened in May 12th, 1949. It had space for 781 cars.
Damn.
With a 50-foot wide screen. It was best known as the site of the premiere for Blazing Saddles in 1974.
Nice.
It was located a half-mile east of Disney Studios and 300 yards from the Los Angeles Equestrian Center, so it was perfect to do the Blazing Saddles. The place closed in 89, though. But
It was funny that
it's now the location of a Rancho Marketplace shopping center.
That sounds nice.
I thought you were going to say like an Amazon warehouse. Two things about all that. His secret hiding place was at the bottom of a dumpster of garbage, and she was just throwing shit out. I'm like, does she even know what she's looking for? She's just throwing
There was
garbage.
two dumpsters.
It would almost be
why
like,
was it- like it
why
should've
would
been
you stick it
taped or something.
underneath the dumpster? So it's like
Taped.
it's underneath or
Taped to the side
taped
of
to
it,
the back
you
or
know?
something like that.
Yeah.
But besides that, secret. No one needs to know about it, but Dale Stern is going to call Roy Scheider on his answering machine and leave a detailed message. Listen, I don't know if I'm going to make it through the night, but I just want to tell you the tape is here and it's here and do all. I'm like, don't leave that tape. Like, don't leave that message. Like as
And then
Roy Scheider's just listening
Then
to
he
it.
was
I'm like,
listening to it. Then he's like, "Hey, get out of there!" And he's like, "Oh, okay."
I assumed from the get-go that Dale Stern was going to die here.
Yeah, I did too.
But when he escaped from the house with the tape on the mouth and the zip tie behind his back, I was like, oh, they would have killed him in the house if they were going to kill him. So he's obviously going to get away here.
Though he came his hands came
He
unseparated.
did. That car rolled those, whatever the wire ties, whatever, right off of him.
I thought he was going to actually escape there because why wouldn't they have just killed
It
him
seemed
in the
like
house?
he was going to, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those tropey things that you don't let someone escape and then just kill them because just kill them while they're still tied up.
But it was a rough death too, man. He had to watch that car come right at him.
Yeah.
It was almost 3D, right?
Almost. It's 1983 3D.
I think Mork was in the passenger seat.
It looked like at some point they showed a panoramic view of Los Angeles, one of the helicopter scenes, and there were like 50 cranes in the shot. I was like, is like all of Los Angeles under construction? But it might have been getting set up for the Olympics. They might have been building like Olympic venues, but there were so many cranes and it was so
Dingy.
just dingy and dusty and just smoggy looking all the time, man.
Yeah.
LA just looks like not a fun place to live. I'm sure it's fine now, but back then.
I read that Scheider and McDowell became really good friends on the set. I thought that was pretty nice. That like lifelong.
That's really weird because they didn't have too many scenes actually together. That's cool that they were friends. Did Malcolm McDowell visit him at his funeral?
You got it.
Funeral?
You got it. Dig for it.
Because Malcolm McDowell is still alive, I think, right?
Yes. Do you know what Project Thor stood for?
And I don't remember, but why'd they kill
HLS
that lady?
helicopter.
Why'd they kill her? Like because she had
Yeah.
Project Thor, but like why?
Yeah. They never really.
It had something to do
they
with the
didn't develop
helicopter.
that.
It did have something to do with the helicopter, but I don't remember what it stood for.
Do you have an idea?
No.
It's Tactical Helicopter Offensive Response.
Oh.
Okay. But why'd she die?
I don't know, but you know what Jaffo is.
Just another fucking observer.
Yes.
And apparently
And you know
what
what FE stands for, right?
FE.
Yeah. So what does FE stand for? He said, fuck everybody.
Oh, where was that? I don't remember even that
I
scene.
think it was that Warren Oates that said it. I forget who said it. I got it written down.
Did someone have a shirt that said FE or something or a hat? that said
I said, what are you looking at, dick nose? What movie, everybody? No?
No.
Teen
Pee-wee's
Wolf.
Big Adventure.
It's Teen Wolf.
Oh, Teen Wolf.
Styles is wearing a shirt that says, what are you looking at, dick nose? Dick nose. I don't have
Was
many
there a lot
notes
of
left,
dicks
man.
in this movie? No. What was it? Something. Nah, never mind. Sorry. I take it back.
What did he
Yeah,
just say?
I'm thinking of something else. I've been drinking.
This film was, you know how you said it, you see Grand Theft Auto a lot in there. This film was actually used for the basis for Sega for the game Thunderblade for the Sega Genesis.
Oh,
So if you want to check that game out, and Super Thunderblade, which also for Sega.
go up into your attic, rummage around for your Sega Genesis.
I actually have the Sega plug and play. I have to see if that game's on there. Thunderblade. I'll look and see if it's on there. If it is, we'll play.
So when he was helicoptering over the girl when she was going to get the tape, he's like, take a right, take a right, take a right. And she takes a left.
Yeah.
I was like,
And then she goes the wrong way.
she totally goes the wrong way. I was like, what's the commentary here? We're just saying like women drivers are terrible and they can't follow directions.
And he was just like,
he's like, women drivers.
Like, you know.
Women drivers.
What do you got in your monologue there? Anything or no? If not, we're going to get into some scores.
No, I don't think I have anything else.
Because I think I'm hitting.
It's so funny. My last note of the whole thing was, but why any of this? Just because the plot made no sense. Like the violent part of it made
Do you
no
like
sense.
where he landed the helicopter?
Which one?
At the end when he's like,
Oh, on the train track.
Oh,
Yeah, right on
right.
the train
Oh,
track.
yeah. That poor conductor or
Yeah.
whatever you call it. Engineer. Yeah. Like, yeah, I blew up a helicopter and half a tree.
Could've killed- and who knows if
That
he-
guy definitely died. That
definitely killed
conductor
him,
definitely
right?
died.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he was right there. That happened.
he was the engineer, but
Engineer. What's a conductor then? Is a conductor different than an
Conductor
engineer?
gets all the tickets.
yeah, he's just the guy taking the tickets.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yells at you.
I mean, I don't want to disparage a conductor. I mean, that's an important job too. They keep our trains rolling.
Who do you want to kick it off?
Oh, I can go first. I'm confident in my score. I enjoyed this movie. This has a lot of 80s feels to it, from its keyboardy kind of soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
And its tropey police kind of shit. And I know I've gone
and Warren Oates'
and Warren Oates, and I know I've gone on record before as saying like I'm not a big fan of like TV show cop dramas, but I'm a big fan of like 80s cop movies. So I give this a 75. I'm not going to watch it tomorrow, but in 5 years, if someone says, "Hey, you want to sit down and watch Blue Thunder?" I would watch Blue Thunder again. I had a good time watching this. I had a good time mocking it also, but that's what we do here. I mock the things I love.
I had fun with this movie as well. I didn't go as high as you, Andy. I gave it a 70. It's also one of those movies, again, if I flip through the channels and it's on, I'll stop on it. I don't need to see it right away. Or if somebody were to ask me, hey, you know, it's playing at the drive-in, that'd be cool to
I
go
wish we had
see.
a drive-in.
You know, that
Where's
would
our
be cool.
drive-in?
Why don't we open one? But yeah, I give it a 70.
So I initially was going to give it a lower score, but the more I thought about it, Warren Oates was a great character.
He was.
The last part, the helicopter fight was great. And I'm going to give it I'm going to go just a little bit lower than you, 65. I'll never watch it again, but
You know what though? But for you,
did
that's a good
enjoy it.
score.
Yes, exactly.
That's like a 90 on the regular on the bell curve of your scores. That's
Honestly,
a high
and
score.
I come into this like even after the podcast, I didn't know where you were going to go with the score. Did you?
Not at all.
Yeah.
When I was halfway through this, I was like, Brian is definitely watching this at like 2.0, maybe 3.0.
He watched it
And-
last night after like we talked about that and we didn't hear from him.
He's taking nothing from
I
this.
started off at 1 speed because I didn't want to, I knew the nudity was in the beginning.
Oh, fuck.
And
why did you know that? Did you go? Is there a site you go to? Where
no, I just remember
Mr. Skin.
that.
He goes to Mr. Skin.
www.wherearetheboobs.com.
Skin.
I remember nothing from this movie other than that scene.
Hmm.
But I thought they were in Blue Thunder when they did that. They were in just
That
a
was
regular.
the Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon.
I wasn't looking forward to watching this movie, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I thought this was fun. Like
Yeah.
this is so 80s, man. This felt 80s. Los Angeles is so 80s.
Next week will be 80s too, won't it?
What are we doing next week?
Octopussy.
Octopus. Is that? Oh, that's 80s. That's 83.
Yeah.
No,
Sure.
I definitely remember liking this
That's-
movie.
that's-
So
I'm
this-
hoping I
That's
still
on
do.
HBO Max.
So
for
this is our
everybody out there.
first James Bond movie.
Yes. You said you remember liking Octopussy?
I remember liking
I do
this
too.
movie,
It's
yeah.
Roger Moore.
It's
I
really
mean,
this might be the first James Bond movie I ever saw in the theater. I have to go back and
I saw this movie in the
Look.
theater as well.
yeah.
I don't think I saw it. Definitely HBO.
Like I have to look and see what came out
But,
like
like 10 times on
81.
HBO.
If there was a James Bond 81, 82
Definitely
movie.
saw it on HBO. Yeah,
Yeah,
during the 80s there. Oh yeah, late 80s. That was always on.
definitely.
It's Octopus is going to be an interesting movie for us to debate, or not debate, but talk about, because like the cast is like, it's like Roger Moore and
Yeah.
a bunch of other people.
We probably won't talk too much about the cast. We'll probably talk more about.
I'm trying to think of like
movie.
who else we would even know in that. I mean,
When was the space one?
That's Moonraker. That's like
Moonraker.
78, 79
That was
or
late
something like
70s.
that.
We'd have to go back and do that.
That was a Roger Moore one. Right?
That's the,
I think that's my favorite one.
Yep. But like it's gonna be interesting hearing what we say about Octopussy, because it's like a James Bond movie. So we're like, bunch of James Bond shit happens. Okay.
Moonraker was 79.
Okay. Because it was post Star Wars, you know. Have to cash in on being in outer space.
Yeah, we'll be like, so Roger Moore, we're like, oh, that's so great. And then I'll be like, and then Maud Adams.
Sure, Maud Adams. She was.
Then you had
she's
Louis
Octopus.
Jordan, Christine Wayburn.
Oh, don't spoil it, man. We'll get to them. We'll get to all those.
I only knew Roger Moore.
I know Maud Adams just because I was into James
There's
Bond.
135 in the cast. I don't think
Oh
we're going to be
my
talking
God.
about that many.
Holy
my
cow.
God.
Yeah.
If you give me what's Maud Adams' top four, I'll be like James Bond. That's all I got. In fact, for
real quick,
in fact, for Roger Moore, it's James Bond. Oh yeah, Cannonball Run too. But
the critics gave it a 78, and the audience gave it a 52.
Oh,
wow, audience being the usually
lower than me.
Usually the critics are the
It's
ones
usually
that
the
like shit on
opposite, yeah.
something. Yeah. Huh.
But
So go back and
Octopussy-
watch Blue Thunder and watch the 11 hours of the
Yeah,
show.
and then,
I don't know where they are.
and
but
then listen to our podcast and then comment to us and let us know how it is. You can also find us on Spreaker and anywhere else you get our podcast. Download, rate, subscribe, review, do all those fun things. Contact us out on the socials. We're exciting a new podcast out there on all our social medias. And it's the Jazoo, on Instagram, Jazoo74 on Twitter. I'm Jason. It's been the Exciting and New podcast.
I'm Andy, and if you don't fucking message me on Instagram or Twitter this week, I'm coming to your house. I'm tracking you down.
Tell them where your Instagram is.
I'm coming to your house. AE Gonzo1 on Twitter, AE Gonzo1970 on Instagram.
Boom.
Fucking message me.
And I'm Ryan, Papa Bad Kitty.
Less enforceful.
Kevin, message me.
I'm threatening people to message me.